Hey everyone, happy Friday evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Katrina Stark and I get the absolute pleasure of being able to launch our Life by Design event tonight. Now, this is something that is super, super close to my heart because when I came into this business 6 years ago, my life looked so far away from Life by Design that I feel like I can truly sit here and say that every single person I know needs to watch something like this. They need to actually begin to think that maybe there's a better way to do things. And I know in such a fast-paced society where the wheels are really starting to move pretty quickly, we're noticing that what used to work 10, 20 years ago, go to school, go to uni, get a degree, work your whole life, live on your retirement. It's not the way happy, wealthy people are living these days. There are so many different avenues to be able to create wealth and to create flexibility, balance, all those type of things that we actually are really craving rather than the traditional workforce. So tonight we're going to share what has worked for us, a way to be able to remove ourselves from the corporate or 9-to-5 grind and be able to create a little bit of flexibility in our lives. So like I mentioned, I came into this business 6 years ago, and if I'm honest, I was so skeptical about the online world because I almost felt like everything out there was out to get me. I felt like everything out there kind of might have been a little bit of a scam or might have been a little bit of a hole or a trap to get my credit card details. So I was really reluctant to kind of look any further. But my girlfriend had been doing this for about 18 months and I was just watching her on social media, kind of like a little bit like, oh, is it one of those things? What's happening here? And I couldn't help but notice she just seemed to have so much in her life that I was craving. I, at that time, had 2 very small girls and I was swapping a lot of my time to try and build my traditional business. I'm going to explain a little bit. I'm very visual, so I'm going to get out my whiteboard and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the business model that we have. Because for me, that's when the penny really dropped. That, oh my God, there might actually be a better way to be able to do this. Here I am swapping so much time, never finding the balance with my family, never actually getting ahead. And when this model was shown to me, it just absolutely exploded all my excuses. So when I went out of school, I went to uni and I really only put a part-time effort in, only because all of my girlfriends were doing that. And what I noticed pretty quickly was that they were all kind of signing their life up to spend the next 40, 50 years doing the same career. Now, if I'm honest, part of me knew right then and there that that wasn't going to be me. I really, really wanted to have a family. I wanted to have the balance, but I also know that I didn't want to be told what to do. If I'm really, really honest, I wanted to be able to have balance. I wanted to be the manager. I wanted to be the boss. And I knew that with a lot of corporate careers, you have to work your way up the ranks. So even though I was at uni, I actually went to work on my background plan B, which was to own a dance studio. I was a professional dancer at the time and I loved teaching the children. So I thought I'm going to open up my dance studio. And what I did is I come down into a retail position because I needed to save up enough money to start that business. So I went into there and I actually worked at this job for about, I think it was actually 7 years. Has anybody else stayed in a job way longer than what you anticipated? And all of a sudden it's like quicksand and you're like, oh, you're getting celebrated for another anniversary and another anniversary. I stayed there for 7 years, but it did serve a purpose for me. Over that time, I managed to get up to the manager position. And, I didn't particularly like this job, but like I mentioned, it paid me a wage. And out of that wage, I was putting aside money every week to be able to open my own business. Now, out of this, I realized that as you kind of moved up the ranks and as you worked harder and you showed up, you built skills, you got better, the positions actually got smaller, which meant a lot of the time there was a lot of bitchiness. So it almost was like you turn up, you do your job really good, you get hated because people know that you're there to shine and you're there to kind of take the positions. And to me, I just felt uncomfortable with that every day because I didn't want to step on my colleagues' toes, but at the same time, I didn't want to go to a job and just put in half of an effort. So I worked my way up to manager. I just sucked it up. I sucked up the bitchiness. I sucked up the talking behind my back. I sucked up all of that because I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to be my own CEO and I'm not going to have to worry about any of that. Yeah. So I did. I worked my way up. Even if I spent another 7 years, all of those positions were actually family owned. Now, I know some people that have been stuck at a glass ceiling similar to that for many years because everything above them perhaps needs better education. Perhaps they know that, there's always going to be outsourced rather than gone up the ranks internally inside the career. So I felt like that spot where I was at is actually pretty normal for a lot of women to get used to, that they've reached their glass ceiling and pretty much life says, okay, sit down now, be happy with that for the rest of your life and you're done. And, I'd watched people in that for a long time and it just wasn't going to serve me because I knew that that wage wasn't going to sustain the lifestyle that I wanted. So I went out, I had my $12,000. I remember exactly how much I needed to save up to get my studio and I became my CEO. And I spent the next 7 or 8 years actually working inside that dance studio to try and build my own business up. And while I loved it, I was so passionate about it and I loved teaching the kids, I then had to control this. I had people in here who made me money, but everything else, if you've ever owned a small business, went straight back out in overheads. I was paying rent, utilities, wages, everything that kind of meant that it just felt like I was doing so much work for nothing. And I sucked it up and I did it for so long until I went through a really shitty stage of my own personal life. I went through a breakup and I needed to because that relationship was very, very toxic for me and I had 2 small children. And I was faced with the prospect of do it by myself when I was already financially felt like I wasn't getting ahead, or just be stuck in a situation that was going to cause me tremendous unhappiness for the rest of my life. And it kind of got to the stage where I felt hard done by. I felt like I had worked so hard for so many years and I still wasn't in any form of position to be able to look after myself, let alone my family independently. So I went back with my tail between my legs and I spoke to my girlfriend who had been creating this beautiful online business for the last 18 months. And I had to say, hey, can you just tell me a little bit more about what you're doing? Because if I can fit this into my day and earn an extra $500 a month, it means that I can go out independently, I can separate, I can look after my girls, I can have just a little bit of breathing room to pay bills and not stress. If it's legit. I was still a little bit worried that it was a bit of a gamble, but she showed me this business model, and honestly, that's where I just want to circle back to the fact that I think everybody just needs to at least have a look at it. They need to just at least understand a little bit about the gold that is available, that is growing rapidly online. So this business model inside our corporation, inside Juice Plus, it looks very different to the past one. We have a pinnacle position called National Marketing Director, which is much like a CEO. You're on about a 6-figure income, so it's a decent income. But what I love about this is that it's unlimited. So every single person that decides to come into this business model has the chance to reach the top. So there's none of that cattiness as people step over. In fact, we want to celebrate you winning because the more you win, the more we win as a company. So there's actually this beautiful culture where people want to see you succeed. And I haven't found that anywhere else in the world. Like, it's really quite bizarre. And it did take me a little while to kind of think, is this for real? Are these people legit? Like, is this a little bit too good to be true? But I've been in here 6 years now, and the amount of people that I've met, and even just the complete way that it's changed my energy now to actually want to see people succeed is so damn beautiful. So everybody comes in, and I really liked that because even though I'd run a business before, it was in dance teaching. It was so far away from what our product and our program stood for, which was health and wellness. Now, we had a lot of teachers, not a lot of teachers, I was the teacher. We had a lot of really cool health professionals come in who had been recommending this product to their clients for years. So I'm talking doctors, nutritionists, naturopaths, kinesiologists, chiropractors, people that had done a lot more study than me and knew a lot more about the body and how it all worked. So when I came in, what I loved is that we all got equal playing field. We all went through the same training. There was no hierarchy. There was no, okay, well, you get 10 steps ahead of this person and you get this pay rate. We all got to start down the bottom and learn our way up. Now that was really cool because no one sat above me and said, hang on, you've earned too much, sit down, like you've reached your limit. It was totally up to me as to where I wanted to go and where I wanted to stop. Now, when I came in, I started talking really quickly to some women who were just living the lifestyle I wanted. They had older children, but they were always at the sports carnivals. They were always at the assemblies. They were always present because they'd created a lifestyle that worked around them, right? They weren't turning up for a boss. They were literally working this from home in stolen moments around their family. So I learned pretty quickly that this could be the real deal. And I'm really grateful that I did, because within 18 months working this, I managed to hit NMD, which is our pinnacle position, with that beautiful income solo as a single mum, a 6-figure earner in business. Now, if you remember, I did traditional work for close to 7 years and I did my own business model for 7 years, and none of them even got me close to earning that per annum. So the fact that this was so legitimate in less than 2 years really started to get me feeling everyone needs to know about this. And, you know, as I started to introduce people and teach them how to do this business, I developed a whole new appreciation, because some people really didn't want what I wanted. They just wanted to come in and they wanted to earn a couple of extra $100 a month just to be able to, you know, buy groceries without worrying, or just put it in a travel fund, or go out for coffee with the girls, or whatever it is. They just wanted that little bit of extra breathing space. I knew I had a system that could help, and I wasn't going to put any pressure on and above that, right? It just served their purpose. Then I had other women come in who were like, I just want to replace my income. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel like my boss sees me. I just want to be able to create my wage and do it from home. So it was really cool. I knew that I had a method to be able to teach them and show them. And, you know, it's been 6 years now, and we've taught thousands of people all around the world how to do this. We've had some come all the way up here, some till here, some till here. But it's so beautiful to be able to see people taking their turns back. Now, I think one of the biggest myths coming into this is I don't know enough people to do something like this. I hear it so often now that I find it almost comical, because as humans, it's crazy how that's our biggest doubt. We don't know enough people. In a world with billions, right? We don't know enough people. Now, the crazy thing is that social media these days, I get that it's not everybody's favorite flavor, but if you really utilize it to your advantage, you can reach thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon people really, really quickly. Now, inside my life at that time, I didn't have a lot of supportive people. So I knew that I would have to go out there and utilize the system that they were showing me to build a network and look for people who had their hands up. Look for people who actually either wanted to learn more about online work or wanted to actually up their health and go next level, and perhaps, you know, look at our beautiful products and programs that we embossed. Now, I took this system and I actually introduced it to 2 people, one of whom I'd never met before. That was Joe. We met on social media just through a random group, utilizing the system that my sponsor had taught me. Now, Miranda was actually a mum at my dance school. So she was somebody that I knew about, but by no means did I think that she would be amazing at this business or even want to look at this business. But just through a few posts that I did on social media, she actually pulled me aside and said, can you tell me more about what you're doing? I need to get out of my job. Really cool. I got to then show her the system, and she reached out to a beautiful lady called Shannon, who was actually in New Zealand. So if you can't hear from my bogan accent, I'm over in Australia. But literally within 2 weeks, my business went international. And I had no idea what I was doing. I'm over here in the Gold Coast, you know, just kind of trying to learn my stuff. And Shannon was over in Auckland trying to learn it at the same time. Now, that was the power of knowing somebody who could know somebody. Shannon then went out and introduced it to a beautiful lady called Pauline and another gorgeous lady named Tanya, who you're going to hear from later. Now, they both exploded their businesses. And we now, just from this conversation, have the largest growing team in New Zealand for Juice Plus, which is amazing, just from that one connection. Now, the power of Jo is that she also went out and within 2 years created an NMD business just like I did. And it kind of looked like this. Now, over time, I've introduced more people who've introduced more people, and you kind of get the gist, right? We call it the popcorn effect. It's knowing someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone, and so on and so forth. Now, when you have a really cool product that works and a really cool business model that gets people wins on the board, that they feel like they're moving forward, that they're seeing results, people start to talk. And that's the beautiful nature of what we've got. So I hope I've eased some of your doubts a little bit around the business model and really shown you how amazing the online network can be when you're using it towards something that has been tried and proven, and you've got the results and the stories there, right? Now, for me, it was all in the stories. I loved that the business made sense. I've tried business multiple ways. This to me just kind of connected. But it was the stories and the real people that made me think, okay, cool, yeah, I can give this a go. So we've got two beautiful girls who are somewhere in here, somewhere in this little beautiful popcorn bubble, that are going to share a brief little just introduction about what they've noticed so that you guys can see a little bit of social proofing and just how cool it is. So, Amira, can I spotlight you, darling, and can you share us a little bit about what this business has done and what you've been able to achieve?
Absolutely. Hey everyone, so I'm Amira. I have been in this business for just over a year now. Before I came into this business was at quite a rough place in my life. I previously was living in a life of addiction. I've been to jail. I made bad choices. I got in clean, and I was really struggling as to what I was going to do to support myself and my family because of the decisions I've made in the past. I wasn't able to go out and get a job. I didn't just want to work at McDonald's, I wanted a career. I thought, like I wanted to be able to, live that life I wanted. And on the day that I discovered this business, actually, I had just left a really abusive and toxic relationship. And I was at a place where I was so excited that I'd found something that I was able to create, and I didn't know that when I started, like Kat said, I was skeptical. I was kind of like, ooh, but I was like, what do I have to lose? I'm doing nothing already. And like for such a small investment, it was such a no-brainer for me. And I within, I don't know, maybe a month of being in this business, I knew that it was the vehicle I needed to create the life I wanted for myself. I started to have that financial gain, but on top of that, I had amazing personal development. I started to love myself. I started to set routines in my life. I started to have healthy boundaries, and I was earning money and able to take, I've got 3 sons. They're 13, 6 and 2. He's on his way. 13, 6 and 3. And I'm able to take them on holidays, I've just built my life back, and it's such a beautiful thing through the support of this business and company, and I'm just so grateful. The future for me is who's all right. So my future plans are to I want to take this all the way, I want to make multiple figure incomes and teach other women to do the same. It doesn't matter to me. I feel like the more kind of damaged your past, the more this business has to offer you, because you've got so much opportunity here that you just are limited from if you've made bad decisions in your past, and your past is not who determines your future, and I love that this business embraces all of you and helps you heal and loves you, and I just think it's a really beautiful opportunity. So if you're watching this tonight, whoever sent you here, wherever you found it, get in touch with them, and now is the perfect time to be jumping on as well. Big love, and I'm going to pass you over to one of my beautiful girls, Daijhar, and she's going to tell her story.
Thank you, Amira. So my name's Daijhar. I am in New Zealand, and I came into this business, on the 17th of June to be specific, the 17th of June last year. So a little bit of my background, me and Amira had actually met in a drug recovery group. So I'm also a recovering drug addict. And my background had been a really rocky kind of road. I, like Amira, was introduced to methamphetamine at a very young age. So my drug addiction began at 11. By the time I was 17, I was incarcerated. And a few years later, I had my son. And my life had kind of been really, really up and down. And probably 2 years prior to jumping on this business, I had signed up to a $30,000 debt to become a social worker. So I was just about to go into my third year of my degree to become a social worker, and everything kind of went tits up, and that didn't work out. And I'm really grateful now, looking back at it, that didn't work out, because what I've realized is that I was essentially signing up to spend 5 years to create in between $30,000 to $35,000 worth of debt to become qualified and successful in the eyes of somebody else. And when I look back at that now, I'm like, I don't want to glorify that kind of debt and that kind of living. I don't want my child to grow up thinking that that's the way to be. So long story short, I jumped on the business, and I am forever grateful to my upline for introducing me to this opportunity, because so far in the short amount of time, I think it's 10 months maybe now, in 10 months, what I've been able to do is create an international team as of the 16th of February. So a few days ago, my New Zealand team expanded out to an international team. I was able to recruit my first ever male team member, which is freaking insane and amazing. I am 6 ranks deep, so I'm halfway to NMD, which is super exciting. And I have a team of women and men who are striving towards the same thing. And what I absolutely love about this is that you can come from anywhere. And just like Katrina said, is that you do not have to have a huge following on social media. You don't have to be an influencer or anything like that. You can come from somewhere and have a really, really shitty background and turn it into success. And that's what I've been able to do. And that's what a lot of people in this business have been able to do, is they've been able to come from a really tough place and use a lot of that pain and that heartache to their advantage to create connections with people who are longing for the same sort of thing. And a lot of that is the recognition, the financial freedom, and just the ability to be able to step out into their true potential. And that's something that I was never allowed or encouraged to do at a 9-to-5 job. And my most recent job was an optical assistant, and my sister, funnily enough, is the franchise owner of that specific store. And it took her 5 years. So 5 years of showing up 7 days a week to be able to pay off that franchise fee. And in that time, she lost out on seeing her boys get scholarships for rugby and league. She missed out on so many things that I just don't want to miss out on with my son. And the biggest thing that I tell people is that you can come into this and be like, do you know what? I want to be a 6 to 7 figure earner. Or you can come into this business, like Katrina said, and be like, do you know what? I'm just sick and tired of not being able to pay my bills or take my kids out for the weekend. And whatever it is that you want, you're able to create in this business. And that's just a very, very small insight into it. The self-development and the training and the self-love that I've been able to ignite in myself and in my team has been next to none. And that is just something that I would have never got from studying, from becoming a social worker, or from anywhere else. So I will always be grateful for this opportunity. And if you are sitting on here tonight and you've been skeptical, my only advice is it's $58 at the moment to become a franchise owner. I do not know anywhere else in the world that is offering an opportunity like that. It's a literal vehicle to start to create unlimited income if you want it. And I would seize this opportunity because it doesn't come around all the time. And I'm just going to leave it there and hand it over to our next speaker, who I believe is Tanya.
No, you're coming back to me.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you, beautiful. I really appreciate you guys. I love hearing your stories, and I love that you guys have had such similar journeys and such similar successes. It's absolutely beautiful. I get to watch you guys come in, and you come in all like worried and insecure and unsure, and then you like blossom into these beautiful badass women. So I love it. But you know, to make all that work, we have to have a really substantial product behind what we do. It has to speak for itself. It has to be world standard. It has to do what it says it does, because you know, otherwise there's no point having an awesome business model. We have to have something that serves and values people, and that people want to keep on buying, so that we can keep on rotating and helping the world and helping our businesses evolve. So we have the beautiful Zarah tonight, who's going to share a little bit more about our Juice Plus products and exactly why they're so damn valuable, why they've been around for so long, why so many of us are seeing success using them and running our businesses around them. So Where are you, Zarah? Can you take yourself off mute, darling, and I will replace the spotlight. Thanks, darling.
Hi, how is everyone? I absolutely love hearing our business stories and how much the business can transform someone's life, because what I learn every time I hear it is that there's so much more than just a business and an income in here. There's so much personal growth and there's so much transformation on the journey that we're currently on when we do join this business, and that is really incredible. But we wouldn't have those kind of stories with our business if we didn't have, like Katrina said, products that are incredible. And so what's amazing about the products and the program that we have is that we focus on educating you around your health journey, and we really encourage people to do things that they enjoy while they're on their health journey, so they can fall in love with it and enjoy being healthy and enjoy that journey and make changes that are sustainable and lifelong. So within our Vitality Hub program, we have a range of resources that can help you to educate you on that journey, you know, focusing on things like, how do I plate up? How do I get more aware about my gut hormones? How do I learn about what is beneficial to me? And we've got so many professionals within our community that we can always point you in the right direction to, so that you can learn about your health rather than just following a program that you're told to follow. We also encourage all of our clients to do what they love. Now, this is my favorite part, because we know that if we're not doing things that we love on the daily, we're not that happy. You know, if for you it's going to church, go to church. If it's going to the beach, go for a walk at the beach. If it's spending time with your family, do that. Whatever makes you feel good, allocating time in your health journey for that. Because when you feel good, it just radiates through your entire body. When we think about our health, we know that we do, however, need to focus on our body, and that means being active and eating well. So when we think about being active, we basically say goodbye to training 7 days a week, because no one wants to do that. Okay, some people do, but not everybody. Instead, we look at being active as much as you can, however you can, because that's the sustainable change. Again, if it's going for a swim, if it's going for a walk, if it is training 7 days a week, whatever it is that's going to get your body moving to get those health benefits, we encourage you to do within our program. When it comes to the body component, there are a range. I always lose count at how many ebooks we have, and that just when I think I've got it, there's another one that pops up and I'm mind blown. So recipes galore, covering everything: breakfast, lunch, dinner, you know, snacks, treats. It's just amazing, so that you can really just have these recipes at your fingertips. So it makes it really, really easy. It makes being healthy easy. And you still get to enjoy the cheeky stuff like the chocolates, because we even make that a little healthy along the way. But with our body component, we know that a lot of the time we make healthy changes and there's a little bit of a gap, because when we go to the store, we don't buy a huge range of fruit and veg. We buy what we're used to buying. And so we've paired up with our Juice Plus company to get the products that are bridging the gap between what we do already eat and what we should be eating. And they do that by having 3 core products to incorporate into your diet and to support your immune, your digestive, and your nervous system. So those products are our fruit, veg, and berry capsules. Here are these ones. They are absolutely amazing. They support our immune system and they are our micronutrients. So these are really, really simple, and that's what I love about our products. They are fruits and veg that are grown in the best conditions possible. They're GMO free, and they're grown using strategies like crop rotation. So they're really grown in soil that's really nutrient dense and allows our fruits to get nutrient dense. And when our fruits are at their ripe, most ripe, we pick them, we pulp them, we dehydrate them, and we pop them into these amazing capsules. So you start to get a wide variety of nutrients into your diet. Just simple but amazing. We then have our complete powders. These are our macronutrients and they support our digestive system. So again, we're using our superfoods that are really nutrient dense to put into a protein powder that tastes amazing. These can be used, they're really versatile. They can be used as shakes, which is what they're most commonly used for, but we can do baking, we can make protein balls. One second, my dogs have decided to come in. We can make protein balls. We can do pancakes in the morning, which the kids love, along with the shakes that I mentioned before. If we have little mini shakes, they're just incredible. And you're getting a bunch of superfoods into your diet every day that just support your digestive system. We then have our last product with our Juice Plus company, which is our omegas. Now, our omegas support our nervous system. We go straight to a plant-based source, which is the algae, which is with all of our products, very plant-based. And we use a variety of the algae and a range of seeds to get a complete omega, which are the omegas 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And so really, really nourishing our nervous system all round. But what's really amazing about the company is that we want to encourage healthy families. So with those 3 products, they decided to step it up a level, and they wanted to really work on creating healthy families by including our fruit and veg chews. So earlier you saw the fruit and veg capsules that I had. These are the chew form. They're the 11 fruits and the 11 veg, the nutrients from those 11 fruit and veg popped into chew that's sweetened with fruit pectin, so it's healthy. They're the only chew on the market that's not classified as a lolly, which is amazing. And we're finding when we're giving these to our children, our studies report that kids are getting sick less, they're drinking more water, they're craving more healthy foods, and that's just absolutely amazing. So these are the 3 products that we join together to have within our program and support our health. And when we start using those products, we hear a lot of really amazing health stories. So I'm going to pass off to Tanya to share her stories about the impact the products have had on her health.
Hi, everybody. Hi, thank you so much, Zarah. Hey, so I'm Tanya, and I'm over here in New Zealand. And I have been an absolute lover and a customer of our program and our products now for, it's been over 4.5 years. I actually came in as a customer. So I started because I was pretty unwell. I had all sorts of awful things going on, but I also had a daughter who wasn't so well either. But at the time, I was really, really struggling to try and find a way that was healthy for me and for her going forward. And what I had spent about 4 years trying to ease my chronic pain that I was having every day. I was absolutely exhausted. So nana naps were really normal for me. I was, I'd wake up in the morning, feel like I hadn't slept at all, and I would be falling asleep, by 8 o'clock at night. It was just way too hard for me. My immune system was really suppressed. So I had gut issues, I had skin rashes, I had my hair was falling out in handfuls, I had all sorts of cold sores constantly, thrush and UTIs and everything. I was always sick, I always had headaches, and I always had nausea. I always felt nauseous and had really awful tummy cramps all the time. It was just my normal. Now, for me, yes, I was allergic to gluten, but I'd already taken gluten out of my diet, and things had actually improved a little bit. So for 4 years, to actually find that nothing was really working for me, even with changing my diet, was pretty sad. And I'd spent over the 4 years about $10,000 on so many different ways to try and heal my body. So I had tried supplements and therapies and treatments and all sorts of different things, only natural, of course, because I'm a natural girl, and I like to take things, I like to try everything natural before I go to anything that's conventional. Nothing was working for me. And I watched my beautiful friend, I watched her get better. I watched her on Facebook probably about a month, and she had exhaustion as well, and she had chronic pain too, and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with her, and she was getting better. And I wanted to know what she was doing because I wanted to get better too. So I reached out to her and I said, "What are you doing, honey? I want to know what you're doing." And so it turns out I started pretty much straight away on that conversation. And I absolutely love the program. I loved everything about it. Yes, I love the nutritional support, but the program I fell in love with, it was mind, body, and soul. And I loved that. But what I loved the most about it was that it was family friendly. I had teenagers at the time. And how many of you know that teenagers are really bad at eating healthy food, right? Yeah, teenagers just don't eat good, right? They eat rubbish. So it was really hard to get healthy food into my kids. So the program, they absolutely loved it. They really loved the food. And when they knew I was cooking something from the program, they were pretty excited about it. So that was real easy. And I really loved that. It was also, for me, it's super easy and super simple to be doing. I'm a bit of a blueprint person, and I love having everything set out for me, and all I had to do was click, and the steps were there and the meal plans were there, and I loved all of that. It was fantastic. So, and of course, what happened for me is I started feeling better, and I felt better within the first 2 days in terms of my energy. So what I did was I looked at what I was eating, and yeah, sure, I took gluten out of my diet, but there was a whole lot of things that I hadn't done. And so I really seriously upgraded everything that I was eating, and I brought in these beautiful micronutrients and omegas and shakes into my diet, and things really started to change for me. And it's been 4.5 years, but I found that after just 2 months, I started feeling really amazing. My chronic pain disappeared. My hair started growing back and stopped falling out, and my skin was amazing, and things just started getting better for me. And honestly, I absolutely love everything about our program and everything about our products. I mean, to me, they are my health insurance. They are my health insurance, and I've got all the family on them now. And in terms of my daughter, she's a uni student and she lives away from home, so she's down in Christchurch. I'm in Wellington. And I'm really happy knowing that she's actually getting really good food in her, even if she doesn't have any money and she can't afford to eat good food. I know she's getting really good micronutrients from fruits and veggies in her diet every day, which is really, really awesome for me. So, and of course, as a customer, I remember my friend saying to me, she said, "Did you know that you can actually get money back on your products?" And I was like, "Really? Tell me more about that." And, she started telling me about all this money, and I thought, money, I love money, right? At the time, I was pretty broke. So I was really keen on having a way to increase my income. But I was also really keen at having a way that I could step out of my job that I really wasn't enjoying at all. So I was pretty excited when I saw that there's a lot of money on the table here. There's a really good way of earning money. But I said to her, "How do I earn money, right? How do I do that?" And it was pretty simple. What you do, and this is all I did, I started within 4 days, because as soon as she said that to me, I'm like, right, I'm in. And I started within 4 days, and that's it. I found that all I did was I shared how I was feeling. I just shared my results, and I just told people about it. So I was just, and it's just like referring somebody to something that you love already. So, for me, I'm always referring my friends to my favorite hairdressers, my favorite movies. I'm always going to do that. But this time we're getting paid for it. So, how cool is that? Who doesn't want to get paid for something that you refer your friends to, right? But the other way that's how we make money in business. But there's also a lot of money on the table. So let me just tell you a little bit about that. So I'm pretty visual, so I like to draw pictures. Not that I'm very good at drawing pictures, but I'm going to anyway. So we have this incredible company. We have this incredible company called Juice Plus. And Juice Plus have been around for 50 years. And in that time, they pretty much don't really spend a lot of money on marketing. So what they do instead is they pay us, which is really cool, right? They give the money instead of marketing it to us. Now, so there's 3 different ways that we can get paid here. And the first way is we get paid through what we call retail profit. Now, this is a really, really good way, and this is pretty self-explanatory. So every time we connect a customer to the Juice Plus company, we get paid commission on that, which is really cool. So there's a way that you can actually make money. If you just want to bring on customers, you can just bring on customers because you're still going to get paid for that. The next way that we get paid is we get paid in commission. Now, commission, this is what I absolutely love. And for being in the business for 4.5 years now, this is the way that I get paid the most, is just through commission. So that is when Katrina was showing you that beautiful diagram of the popcorn effect. The bigger your team grows, the bigger this grows, and the more that you grow your team, you can actually earn a lot of money here. This is what we call this is the passive income, the beach money, the residual income. So this is the money that pays you while you're sleeping. And I know that, I don't know if it's Warren Buffett, that if you don't find something to make money while you sleep, then you're going to be working for the rest of your life. Well, I sure didn't want to work for the rest of my life. For me, and my husband, we wanted to travel, and we also wanted to have a fund where we could actually not have to worry about having a retirement. That was our retirement plan. We didn't want to be on the, I can't remember what it's called now. Someone will tell me. Pension, thank you. Thank you, hubby. I don't want to be on the pension. I see my mother on it and I see her struggling, and I certainly didn't want that. So this to me meant a huge amount. So the other way that we get paid is we get paid in bonuses. Now, how many people get paid bonuses these days? I know I didn't in my job, and I know I've never been paid a bonus. So to know that I was going to get paid just for being in the business, just for reaching targets, was pretty cool. And so there's about $124,000 worth of bonuses on the table for us, right up to our pinnacle position and beyond. So there's a lot of opportunity to be earning a lot of money. And for me, as soon as I saw that, I thought, right, I'm in. And I tell you what, for me, I was able to walk away from my day job. I did that about 4 years, the best decision that I ever made, because what that's for me is it's created a lot. And so the next mission is for me to retire my hubby so he can do the same. So really excited about that. Right, so I'm going to pass you on now to our man, a wonderful guy of the evening, Rob. Thank you so much. And he's just going to share what he loves about the.
Can you hear still? Yeah. Hi guys. It'll be really quick, I guess. Yeah, I'm truly blessed to what actually happened to me. 2016, I found myself into online business, and I came from corporate. I used to work 6 days a week, 50 to 60 hours a week, I would say. And I was truly blessed to be able to find the online business. I joined Juice Plus back in 2019, and we have built an amazing team. We have a big team in New Zealand and, America, Australia. And I guess to me, what's really important, and it's just that my internet connection is unstable. So I hope you are listening clear to what I'm saying. But to me, what's really important is that I don't work the 9 to 5 anymore, which was 8 to 6 or 8 to 10, doesn't matter how long it was. But so I basically went from being in the corporate world now to stay home, doing the things that I love. I spend time with my kids. I saw my kid do the first walk, the first smile, the first pool, everything. I was be able to do everything. And a lot of people actually find it quite funny because we work from home and we homeschool the kids. So we have the kids all the time. So I guess what really people need to think about is that it's real. It's real. If you work hard, you'll make it happen. You just got to literally treat this as a business and find 10 people. If you find 10 people that want to do this, that's it. Your life will be, you'll be able to see corporate and be able to catch up with us at retreats and things. So I love you all. And that's me. I'll give it back to my wife. And Thanks, guys. Can I say? Kia ora. Bye-bye.
Get out now. Thanks, guys. Rob got the stand-in token guy tonight because we feel like sometimes we're quite dominant, female heavy, but there's plenty of men inside this industry that are having amazing results and really getting to step out of the traditional masculine role and being able to have that flexibility and time to be able to choose what they want to do too, which I think is so important. We get the most beautiful balance now of having him home, having me home, getting to raise our babies together, and of course still feeling like we've got the financial support to do what we want rather than having to sacrifice. So thank you so much to everybody who shared tonight. Thank you for those beautiful people who have tuned in and listened. I hope that our stories have hit your hearts just like the ones that I heard 6 years ago did, because truly this is such a beautiful vehicle, such a beautiful community. And honest, like what I've noticed in the growth over the last 6 years, it's only getting bigger and better. People are looking for a different way to create income. So getting on top of it now is only going to serve your future better. So get your questions answered. If not this, then what? That was my biggest question because I'd tried everything else and done everything else. And like Amira said so beautifully, what's the risk? We're in the middle of our blitz at the moment, which does only happen once a year. So it's perfect time to take it on board, give it a try, get on the phone call with us, rack our brains. We will tell you everything that we've done to be able to create success and help you guys do the same. So thank you so much for your time tonight. Huge love to my Juice Plus family on here tonight who shared and gave a little bit of their hearts and souls. And thank you to everybody who tuned in or is watching the recording. Bye for now.